Yeah.
So for those just listening, the next morning, listen on Spotify, Apple Pods, wherever you listen. Got Mark Forever 47 in the comment section saying Kerr just said some guys know they're getting traded. That's why they didn't play well. That's interesting. That really is.
On top of, by the way, Slater reporting today that they're actively shopping Draymond, which the language around it was shocking to me. Like,
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I've heard that they've considered moving him in the past,
Sam sources.
similar to with Clay. And to me, it was always kind of one of those like, look, they're not trying to trade those guys. It was more of a, if this is what it takes to get this star player, we'll do it. And I think everyone feels like if you had to give up Clay to get Giannis in 2013, I think everyone was on board with that, And if you had to give up Draymond to get Giannis, everyone's on board with that. But the way that they're so publicly discussing that Draymond's in trades now,
it's a departure from excuse me. It's a departure from years past for sure. It's interesting.
It also lets me know that this isn't a Giannis or bust situation.
Sure.
I think this means that there's other trades that Draymond is salary, whether it's salary matching or a piece that goes into it, that is going to happen. And I think I just don't think this gets out there if he's not being utilized in like 4 different trade packages. Because look, you don't need to convince Draymond that if they end up trading him for Giannis, he'll just be like, well, that sucks, but I get it. That's a 2-time MVP. That's one of the best players in the league. Like every player understands. Like if a guy of that caliber is involved, it's like, well, that sucks, but that's the business with the salary cap, right? For them to say it this way, to me, it indicates that he's being shopped in multiple different ways and ways that are less like obvious than like, oh, Draymond's out in the Giannis package.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting, man. I think by and large, Draymond has not been very good this year. I think we've seen the cliff with him for the first time, and
it sucks because those 2 Spurs games versus Wemby, like
I know.
That was a highlight of my season. I mean, we're like 2.5 months removed from it, just not great. But that was like for me such why I love these guys, which is they talked some shit and then they came out and backed it, and it was a very personal matchup for him. Mm-hmm. And to your point, though, like as much as I love that and I want to believe that ceiling is still there, I can't lie and be like, it's been that since then. That feels more like a one-time thing than what is really capable on a consistent basis these days.
I think the ceiling is still mostly there. I just think the floor has fallen out. He's just like players age and they get more inconsistent. This is and a lot of former superstars will talk about this. It's not about their ability to get to their ceiling every once in a while. It's how often can you get to that ceiling. We even see it with Steph. Like Steph is still one of the 5 to 7 best players in the league, but it is much more difficult for him to hit that ceiling on a consistent basis. There are more nights where he scores 12 points than there used to be. You know what I mean? So, and that's just, it's a part of aging. And I understand. I would say most of the fan base is actually with trading Draymond right now. I can't fully get there. I understand if it is in a package for Giannis or Siakam or AD or like, I get it. And at the end of the day, I'll be okay with it. But I can't help but, and nobody's really going to feel like this. And I get it. Draymond can be an asshole. He can be difficult. He can be really annoying. I do feel like after essentially what the franchise decided to do to him for the better part of the last 7 years, say like, hey man, at 6'5", as an aging player, go play center for 30 minutes a night for the next 5 to 6 years. And then when the time comes, we're going to ship your ass out. And this isn't some random player. This is a franchise legend. This is a guy, like Steve Kerr said, who will have his statue out front of Chase Center one day or something along those lines. Like he is going to be commemorated in a way that few players are commemorated by a franchise in sports. Like he has been that important to this entire run. So it feels pretty gross to me. And like you bet your ass other stars are taking note of the way that they treated Clay on the way out and the way that they're treating Draymond. Like players don't think like fans. Like they were taking note of these things. They're taking note of the fact that as the noise grows, that the Warriors really haven't done much to build a contender around Steph in the last 6 years. These things are all noticed. And so
You think Giannis noticed it?
Fuck yeah, he did.
Because this was my my point that I didn't get to say earlier. Maybe I got distracted. It's my own issue. I don't buy that he cares as much about the legacy stuff as he looks at the Warriors and he goes, all right, it'd be fun to play with Steph for 2 years and then fucking what? You know, like I know Ant is 24. I know that runway is long. I haven't seen any genius out of the Warriors. I just see 30, you know. That's and that's like honestly to your point, that's how players see these things, which is I haven't really seen you guys do anything all that special. I just see Steph cleaning your asses up all the time. And I'd like to play with Steph, but also how many years does he have left? And for someone like Giannis, you can say he shouldn't care about 5 years from now, but like dude, he can't even demand a trade. You think he wants to be doing this every 2 years? In his head, whatever happens is hopefully the only move he makes the rest of his career.
Right.
So, but yeah, to take it back to your point on Draymond, I have a hard time with it. Like, I can validate it from a basketball perspective, and if they make a move that makes the team better, I will be in favor of it. And he is no longer who he used to be. So he's no longer untouchable to me, but it does break my heart a little bit. It the same way it did with Clay at the end. And I don't think he's nearly as toxic or it's as bad as it was with Clay. Clay was just, he needed to go. He needed to go for himself.
It's best for both parties at that point. But there's a lot of reasons it got to the point that it did. You know, like I think if they had built a different style of team and Clay had gotten more open shots and they were winning more, then Clay doesn't have as many issues with like how things are going. Because at the end of the, like Clay obviously wants his shots. We all know that. But winning cures all, especially for the guys, the original core three. Like really all they wanted to do at the end of the day was win. They didn't care how they got there. But when you're not winning and things aren't going how you want them to personally for you, that's when shit can start to get really dark, especially for guys who are former stars.
Yeah. And so I think the only thing I want to say on Draymond is this feels very real. It feels like this might be the last game we've ever seen Draymond play on the Warriors, which is surreal to say. A throwaway game with no Steph Curry where they can't fucking shoot the ball. Like it's just a garbage
that part
game.
Makes sense if Draymond's out there that they can't shoot the ball.
Yeah, I mean he's not the reason, but you know he's also not helping. So, no. But it's a surreal experience. Clearly, I'm not ready to grasp with it.